lettuce wrists, cabbage hands. Is anyone in goal? Give me all of this.
I didn't have any like sports trainers at the time for some reason, so I had these Vans on. You know Vans?
Yeah, no, I know Vans. I might be 39, but I'm not an idiot.
I think I was just loud and I was just being myself and that, and it was like, oh, he's on trial, and he couldn't get his head round that as a trialist. I just settled in from like the second I got here, and been on a couple of trials before. And
So, welcome back to Life for Kitman. We are joined by Gavin Kilkenny. If you haven't seen the pool video yet, go and watch that, because that was decent.
Kilkenny.
Good morning. Second goal of the season, that was.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's good pants. Welcome, Gav, to the sofa. Say hi, Jonah.
Hi, Jonah.
Decent.
Great to have you on board.
We haven't done that for a little while. Love it. As always, we're going to go straight into five side, because Gav's left-handed.
I think it's the first time I've ever held the ball.
No, it could be the second one.
Oh, okay.
The lefty, you haven't had a
I think
magic
it's-
lefty.
I
Do
think
you know
it's
what? I wish I was left-footed.
But you can,
Which
This
way?
side.
your counters are
But
there.
your counters are
You
there.
can do what you want.
Whatever formation you want.
It's a tough one, it really is, because you don't want to, there's a lot of people.
And we don't know this one. Usually we
Yeah.
know it beforehand.
There's a lot of people that you could put in, but in goal, start with the goalie, yeah?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I know Nandy didn't go with a keeper, but come on, you need a goalkeeper.
You need a
Otherwise,
goal.
there's just, Anyway, in goal, himself, the
Mr.
man himself. Also, not that I put him in for this reason, but it does help that he's, had a little bit of a swing.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
bit.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, travelling goal. Do you want me to explain why, or do that after?
Write his name up.
Write his name. Yeah, he knows he's in there, to be fair.
I'll tell you what we
Does
do.
it, so-
You write all the names, and then after
Yeah,
we're talking
we'll
about
go
them
through them.
individually.
Trav. Okay. I'll go one at the back. Let me just do my little shape on the tactician. Nathan Ake.
This is just going to be the same team as Nandy.
No, I won't be. I'll change it a little bit.
Nathan, okay. Oh my god, look how tactical he is.
I can't.
Sorry, my voice is there. That's how I am most weeks.
Yeah, so I'm going to go. This was a tough one, these two. There's a lot of players I could go, but I'm going to go with Ryan Christie.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bournemouth. It's got a lovely goal on the weekend. And Jaden Anthony, who I know Nam's put in, but it's a non-negotiable one, really.
Because he's a joke.
I probably shouldn't have put him down as Anthony, he might not like that, but yeah, Jaden and then Dom Solanke.
Some team.
Yeah.
Right, let's.
I'd probably put him there, but anyway, the balance doesn't really matter, we can top that.
Yeah, it's 5 side.
Yeah,
Right, let's start up here with the keeper,
yeah.
Mark Travers. Obviously, we had him on
Yeah.
loan.
You only got him for a short
Yeah,
time.
we had him for
21,
about
22, was it? Or
Yeah.
2020?
Yeah, League 1 year, COVID.
Yeah, I
weird
think it would have
year.
been
2021.
2020,
2021.
Yeah.
I think we had him for about.
He was only there for about 9 games.
Yeah, something like that.
I was there that year with him, I think. Yeah, and then they called him back.
Begovic got
Yeah,
injured.
Begovic
Yeah,
was
something
injured.
like
They
that.
called him back, and Bournemouth didn't even play him.
Yeah, because then Begovic played the next game.
Yeah,
And we were like,
don't get me going. Yeah, unbelievable. First of all, he's probably one of my best. Well, he is one of my best mates. So groomsman at his wedding in the summer. So yeah, now I've been moved over the same year. We were 16. Bob moved over from Ireland, lived up in Diggs, but that's not why he's in the team. He's in the team because he's, as a goalkeeper. You obviously would have seen it, but not probably as much as it's not just what you see in the games, like, because he's been unfortunate in the sense that for whatever reason, he obviously had that full year in the championship where he was the best keeper in the championship, like bar none. But before, like other than that, he hasn't really had the run of games that he probably deserves in that. But in training and stuff, like if you ask anybody, they say like unbelievable.
that was a problem when
yeah,
all that year,
yeah,
any player we had,
yeah.
you didn't get to know them because
Exactly,
of the
yeah.
COVID
Yeah,
rules.
yeah,
They were in, train and go.
yeah.
I
Like,
remember he made his debut though against Ipswich on TV, and he was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
yeah.
For Bournemouth, he made his
No,
debut.
first
For Swindon.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
And Ipswich when we were in League 1.
Scott Twine scored that silly goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was here that year, wasn't he?
but you could tell he was pretty good. We were gutted.
Yeah.
I remember Mildy was absolutely gutted.
Nobody loves him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Miller's few.
No, unbelievable. Like just everything shot stopping and that his saves and stuff are just unbelievable.
I just remember the amount of gloves. He had Adidas gloves.
No,
He come up.
his gloves are he's way too many gloves.
Yeah, he had the
Too many gloves.
he had the strapless
He always
one.
says to me, therefore
We
when
need
I
to get him on
retire-
the pod.
Therefore when I retire. What are you going to use them for when you retire?
He had the sleeveless ones. The not sleeveless, the ones without Velcro.
Yeah.
When he was in, like he must have.
Oh,
we had a whole
yeah,
tray
yeah.
for him,
Yeah.
and he had the Adidas high top
Yeah,
Predators.
you know, you say superstition. I don't really think it's much of superstition, but he has to wear the gloves and the matching gloves and
boot,
boots.
yeah.
Like, he
He
can't not do it. Like if you give him the blue boots and then the red gloves, like he's not.
Yeah, he had so many
Yeah.
pairs of boots. I remember the absolute
Yeah.
canoe size 12 or something.
Yeah,
I think.
that's job. Yeah, yeah. Nah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wasn't even a question really. And then so
Ake then.
moving on, Ake. That year we were talking about that 1920 seasons. That was the year, like obviously I broke in around the first team in pre-season, and he was there. I only was waiting for 1 year because then he got obviously the big move to City when Bournemouth got relegated, so that was a bit unfortunate. But he was like unbelievable, like literally just like you see him at City and people are like, Bournemouth to City, like would he play in that? But then like the treble season he literally played. I think he played nearly every game. The treble season and was one of their best players. So
Yeah.
and like with the young lads, like Nams and that will tell you, like with us the young lads, like he made us feel like we were really good, but like we weren't. Like we were young and that, like
You
just
were.
coming up, like
But
and
let's be
you're looking
honest.
at him and he's like talking to you like you're one of them sort of, and like telling you, yeah, you're really good, keep doing this, and like was really good. I remember sent me a nice text and that when I left, or when he left, sorry. Obviously I texted him and that, and like just unbelievable. And then like just as a defender, like, just 1v1 defending, and then his calmness on the ball was just
Well, he's had a career,
Yeah.
hasn't he, really now.
yeah. And then Mr. Christie, Ryan Christie, probably goes under the radar, like with people generally in the public, because he doesn't get many goals or assists. Albeit he got, did you see his goal and assist on the
I
weekend?
didn't see it, no.
Against Southampton, he got a lovely goal, a lovely assist, but he doesn't actually get too many. But his game's like so much more than that. When I actually played him, for the few games that I did, he played as like a winger, but then like he's now playing as a midfielder, like literally just like a duck to water, just straight in, left foot again, and yeah, just unbelievable. Like crafty, technically brilliant,
Yeah.
could get about the pitch like an engine, and yeah, great lad to be fair. So
Yeah. Anthony. Or
yeah, Jaden,
whatever you want to call it.
Jaden, he'd be on the left. He wouldn't be happy over there on the right. He likes the little left foot come in, chop a bit like. I think Nams admitted that he probably learned that off. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Some
yeah,
ball
yeah,
like
the
that.
ball.
And then Nams did,
Penalty.
he won that penalty.
Yeah, he
didn't
won the
Yeah,
penalty,
doing the
doing
same
the exact
thing,
move. Yeah, now in fairness, he gets the credit because he's the master at that. He's at Burnley now, but I played him at Bournemouth. Me, him, and Nams would have joined Bournemouth at 16, the same age, and all came true. And he was always probably like the pick of the crop almost. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all where he is. He's obviously playing the Premier League for Bournemouth, probably playing the Premier League next year if it's with Burnley or whoever it is. Technically, like unbelievable, just like so gifted. And then like he had his breakthrough year, probably 21, 22 with Scott Parker, and that's probably why he brought him to Burnley this year. So yeah, he's got a bit of everything. To be fair, he's like got pace, strong, but then like just coming in off that left. He can play on the right as well. I'm probably doing him a disservice, but just his finishing and his technique coming in is a joke. And then Solanke in front.
How much did he go for again in the summer?
I think it was 65 million. I was there when he left. Like I remember he left the day he left. Like it was like the talk of kind of like that he might leave, Spurs might take him or whatever. But like I think he scored 20 goals last year for Bournemouth. Like
That's a joke.
people are thinking like if he leaves Bournemouth, like they're fucked. Like do you know what I mean? Not they're
Yeah.
fucked, but like they're like who's gonna replace him on that? And I remember the day he left, like the news broke, and the gaffer there at Bournemouth would be quite like level headed and didn't want to like let on that if we lose Dom, like we're in trouble here. But I remember he left, the news broke, and the lads, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Tavernier, Marcus Tavernier, yeah, put on like a Solanke jersey, ran out to train, and like with his Solanke jersey, and like they put it down on the ground, and like there was almost like a minute silence like for his gone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
What you forget is that you were obviously
Fair
there this summer. Like it
Yeah.
feels like you come in quite late, didn't you?
yeah, no, I went
You
to
were there
went
when-
pre-season tour and that was
Yeah.
like, to be fair, I thought he might stay, but
It's obviously not made much of a difference.
yeah.
Just look at where balls
That's what
are.
I mean. They replaced him with the striker, but the striker they replaced him with has actually got injured, and they're flying like regardless. Bournemouth are like at that stage now where even if they lose someone as good as him, that they'll be fine because they've just got so many good players.
Well,
but
they're
obviously-
fifth at the minute, aren't they?
yeah, and that's without him. So God knows.
I
where
just
they would be
played
if he
them.
stayed.
I remember like
But having said that though, they might not be where they are now
Yeah,
because it changes.
yeah,
how
it
you
changes
play.
the dynamic. He's like they've had to kind
Right.
of spread the goals out more.
and adapt and
Yeah,
changes.
yeah.
the
So
team.
that's a good point. But yeah, he's top tier. Like that championship season when I was there, when he's like the talisman. Like started everything off with the press. Like obviously his goals. I think he got 30 that year. But his overall play, like even like as much as just you play the ball into him, when he keeps hold of it, he can dribble past people. He's probably the most all-round striker I've played with Well, he definitely is, to be honest. Like, just has everything. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of everything, and I wasn't surprised at all when Spurs came knocking. So yeah, he's just been a bit unfortunate.
He's been in and around the England squad.
Yeah, I think he got into the squad in November or September. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Before we finish it,
Yeah,
we need a gaffer,
Gaffer, go on.
and then we need a kit that your team are going to play in,
From the kids on one.
if you want, or your favourites. Or
Gaffer
whatever.
would probably have to be the man who gave me my debut. So we'll go right into a bit poor. We'll go Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe. Am I surprised? Not really.
No, to be fair, I've had a lot of really good managers. I've been fortunate in that sense for my age to have. He gave me my debut when I was young, took a gamble on me. I was a winger basically. Well, I was a winger when I moved over to
You're a
Bournemouth.
winger.
Yeah. So I was like a left
Don't
left winger, like a 10. To be fair, the lads actually only found this out of Swindon, but so like I was like playing off the left or as a 10, like a little bit kind of, like a kind of pretty sort of winger, and not like maybe not as effective as I should be. And he was like kind of he seen something in me, brought me up to training that year, and Lomanga, and was like pulled me for a chat and was like, look, like I think you need to play in the middle, like centre mid, instead
How
of
did you
like.
take that?
No, I was kind of happy because deep down I was like, I didn't feel that comfortable out wide because I knew I didn't have pace, like so, and then my output wasn't that good in terms of goals and assists. So I was like, when I heard it, I was like, maybe you're onto something there, like. But obviously I knew that I needed to do a lot of work on the defensive side. So he was kind of that was his idea to move me into midfield that summer. Then he gave me my debut in midfield, and yeah, I've played midfield ever since. But as a manager, like I said with Solanke, you're not surprised one bit when you see how well he does at Newcastle and like everything he's doing there. He was like tactically brilliant as a motivator, top notch. Yeah, amazing. He was just hungry.
Was that your stomach?
Yeah, it was my stomach.
Yeah, I
that
thought
was
that
weird,
was
wasn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have to get you some dinner afterwards.
I don't know what the time is, but it's late now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what kit would you want to see this team in?
Kit would probably be. That's definitely where is it? Swindon.
it's not.
The third kit this year.
It's definitely in contention,
Black
but I
and
won't
pink.
put it in because too many Bournemouth players. We'll have to put a Bournemouth kit on. We'll go with the khaki green one that I was telling you about.
I need to find out what this
Yeah.
one is.
It's alright, I'll find it and I'll put it on this
Yeah,
video.
I'd go with
I'll
that
put the little-
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So you should see it right about here somewhere.
Yeah.
There.
No?
Like it just.
No.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, that's a good team, though.
Unbelievable. Oh,
I think he'd be class in the 5-0s. He's massive, isn't he?
Yeah, you're not scoring
he's
past.
not.
Yeah. And he
defender.
can kind of like sort of, do a bit of a hybrid
Yeah.
on the ball. Then these two. To be fair, there's other players that I could have put in here, so that was a tight one. But I
Yeah, is
think
there anyone
these
that
two-
was like close?
These two as like 5-a-side would probably work better. I was kind of debating him and Lewis Cook. He's obviously Bournemouth's captain. He's like unbelievable player. Like had the biggest injuries you'll ever see, and like literally come back from it. The only thing you could say is like, imagine how good he'd be probably if he didn't. He's had 2 ACLs. Like, do you know what I mean?
now there is one, right, that you didn't want to put in, which shows your character
Yeah.
because you only played with him for half an hour in an FA Cup game. But at 5-a-side, he would tear it up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Jack Wilshere.
Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
How do you not put? Surely you. should
Nah,
put
I didn't. I just didn't feel right because I only played him for.
I only played with him in a quarter final.
Quarter final of an FA
Yeah.
Cup for half an hour.
Yeah.
Don't count.
I just got him at the back end though. I got him at the back end, and like,
He was still a joke.
yeah, in training, like you just look at him like, oh my god.
He's one player talking about injuries with Lewis Cook. He's one player,
Yeah.
Wilshire, that
Yeah.
without those injuries.
Yeah, he was like he'd come and train and that, and like he'd obviously lost his legs a little bit and just probably lost that sort of mobility and that. But yeah, technically in training, like in a rondo, that Ozil goal, the bounce, the bounce. So like you press him in a rondo, and he just like he'd be literally like you have him, that's it, and like he just bounce it, like he'd be in a corner, he just bounce it over your thing like off the ground like the Ozil pass, and every time I'm like I'm trying to do it ever since, like but I can't do it. But he was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then obviously that was probably his last sort of move to Bournemouth, but I probably comment wrong end, but yeah. He's not a mention, but Lewis Cook, like I said, was brilliant for me as well. I kind of got lucky enough to get to play a few games with him in 1 year when he was coming back from an ACL. I was kind of rotating in and out to get him back up to speed. And yeah, he was brilliant with me. Just even when I was younger and that, he was always really good. Kind of give you little bits of advice. So yeah, they're both notable mentions. Probably David Brooks as well. But I'll go with my boy Jaden.
Yeah, no, nice team.
Yeah.
Like
And then obviously there's a few lads that have played it, like. For going Swindon, you go Mr. Offabor. We obviously have.
I thought you said you weren't going to mention it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you said you weren't doing that, but
No,
Nandy,
There's a
getting a
few-
mention. Good for
no,
you.
he definitely goes on the bench. Sorry, now. Yeah, no, he definitely goes on the bench.
No, he, to be fair, when he was on here a couple of weeks ago, he spoke
He's
very
very
highly
good.
of you.
Yeah, no,
Well,
he's-
you've grown up playing together.
yeah,
So.
no,
But obviously you've watched it, so you knew that anyway.
yeah,
Of course.
I watched all your podcasts. No, he'd go on the bench. Just about, he'd probably, be in with a shout. Obviously, we played each other young. I never played midfield in my Bournemouth because I played as a winger. But we
I
always,
still can't get over that.
we always had like a really good chemistry in that, and I think it's probably just kind of got off from where it was. Do you know what I mean? But he's another one like where obviously if you just don't really know if. Obviously, he has been so unlucky, like
Yeah.
with things that happen and that, and it's like he's done unbelievable. First of all, to get back to where he is, like, because I know you never really know. But I know if it happened to someone, like you just don't know if you'd ever be able to get back to the level he's got to, and then God knows where he would have been.
Mentally,
Like,
that
was
he's
some-
so strong,
Yeah,
isn't
but
he?
some player back then, like as well, like he could have went anywhere. God knows where he would have been. So
Yeah.
yeah, there are a few more from Ireland, and Will Smallbone, one of my best mates.
Had him on here a few, like,
He's in with a
seen a few
show
times.
for one of these slots, and yeah, there's plenty more, but obviously I mentioned them too.
Yeah, nice. Like it.
Decent. Enjoying that.
Right. Obviously, you just said there that you ended up coming to Bournemouth at about 16.
That was mine.
Is that?
Go on, you go.
Obviously, you said then
Yeah.
you come to England and Bournemouth at about 16. How did that come about? How did you end up at Bournemouth?
Sorry, I'm mixing everything. Yeah, so I was like trialing around different teams and that. In England, obviously, I was playing for St Kevin's Boys. You probably haven't heard of them. Has anyone played from here? No, probably not. Probably the biggest schoolboy team in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, produced a lot of good players like Robbie Brady, Jeff Hendrick, Johnny sort of players,
Yeah.
Damien
Yeah.
Duff. A few household names.
Do we know these sort of players?
Yeah, I'm disrespecting your ball now, let's say. Yeah, basically the best team in Ireland, but they don't have like obviously the level of infrastructure as professional teams in England, so you can't stay there. When you get to like kind of 13, 14, you're kind of, if you're decent, you get to go on a few trials. So I went on trial to like loads of teams in England. Didn't work out for different reasons. The old classic, probably you're a bit small, that sort of, like I was quite small to be fair, so it was probably fair. Was turned away by a few clubs. Ironically, one of them was Stoke, who actually ended up signing for them like years and years later, which is quite ironic. But then Bournemouth had a scout from Dublin, so he brought me over at the same time as Trav, so we both came over similar time, and then it was weird. I always said, because when I went on trial at Bournemouth, it was like probably my worst trial. Like I didn't play well, to be honest. I probably stunk the gaff out of it. Like it wasn't great. Like but I think I got a goal in one of the games. I think Nams would have played. Like I scored a header in one of the games, and like you would know, like I never score a header. Like
I was going to say,
it's not. It probably ain't my,
Forte.
strong point. Yeah, I'd like to think I'd muck my sleeves up and try my best, but I definitely wouldn't be known for a bit early ability. But I just gambled on one ball and just scored a header. I think it was against Woking or something, a friendly. And then like, I'm not saying that's why I signed, but I'd say it probably helped. And all of a sudden you wound up at Bournemouth as a 16-year-old from Dublin, and you're just kind of like, trust into it, and like you just go from there. But at the time, like Bournemouth obviously was a Premier League club, but it was still a Cattery academy, so we were playing against like Swindon and stuff, Swindon's academy. So as much as you're going to a Premier League club, like you're not really, because you get to this facilities and that, and they're not actually that great. Like so, it's kind of, it was a weird one really, but it probably helped me because obviously the level of player that you're playing with is not probably as good as that if you go to a Cat 1 and stuff. So that obviously helped, but it was obviously tough to settle in from Ireland. Probably the first year I struggled a lot in terms of like homesickness and stuff like that. And
16's not.
you're in different digs and like different lads. To be fair, the lads I was with in digs were always brilliant, and the digs were generally quite good. I don't have bad stories about the digs quite like
Namdas.
that. My digs. My digs are okay.
Yeah.
One of them was absolutely brilliant. My last one was amazing. But I was generally quite lucky with that. But it was it's one of them where you just kind of move over so young, so you just got to like sink or swim sort of thing. So that was brilliant.
What was your sort of first involvement with the first team? The first time that you ever like trained with them?
I would have been, so obviously I signed when I was 16. I would have trained. Nams will tell the story. I used to train I trained once when I was 16, like really young. Because like the 21s would have, whatever would have happened, like the first team would have needed one player, so they call up, give us him. So, but we used to train in a different place, so you'd have to drive across and that. And I trained really well on that. And I remember the coach was like, "You can keep the kit." And then like you go back to the digs and be like, yeah, I got to keep the kick, like, you know what I mean? Lads were like, oh, did you really? Yeah, like I was probably like, oh, little like,
Yeah.
I wish that was me, like as you would be, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, trained there, but then you don't get a sniff for another couple of years. Like you get the little sniffs here and there, but like because we were Cat 3, they probably looked at us and were like, they're not quite like we're Premier League. These are Cat 3 Academy. I'm not sure if these are going to be at the level that we need, but yeah, then that like moving on like a few years, 2019 that summer brought a lot of us up for the start of pre-season, like 11v11s and that.
Yeah.
Obviously Nam would have already been in the first team by then, like so we were all kind of looking like, could we get to where he was? And then I came up and yeah, done really well. So they took me to pre-season in La Manga,
Which we were just talking
where
about
we
before.
crossed over.
This
which
is mad.
Yeah.
We were just talking
Does
about
that mean Namdi was there as well?
Yeah, Nams would have been there. Yeah.
Oh my god, so they were both there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Nams would have been
That's
riding
so
the
Yeah,
bikes
we were
around
just
La Manga.
talking before we come on, like
Yeah.
sort of pre-season stories and that. And obviously you said that you went to Manga, and I was thinking, we were there when Bournemouth were there. Like, we remember seeing all the Bournemouth players like cycling on their
Yeah,
bikes,
security.
and we had all like
Yeah.
our lads in the back of our van,
Yeah.
like taking up and down the street.
Chucking them all in the van and driving them up.
Yeah, we had to cycle the training.
Yeah.
Little warm up, but yeah. So I went up that summer. It was really tough, like because you know the intensity, like the transition, like
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah.
And like you're going up.
Obviously
and,
Eddie Howe was manager.
Yeah, Eddie Howe's the gaffer, yeah. And that was like when I said when you had that was a pre-season, you had the chat with me and said about the positional thing, but I done really well. I probably surprised myself a little bit in terms of how well I adapted and that, and had a couple of really good sessions, and then like played a game against Girona. You know the stadium, the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. I think Barcelona played a few games there. We played them in that stadium, and I played quite well to be fair. So then we got back from there, and like, so obviously I've drove to training the next day when we've got back. I've driven to the 21s training ground, and, like got kitted out and that. Like the gaffer's like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing here?" And I'm like training. And he's like, "No, like you need to get back to the first team training ground." Like, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "No, you're with them from now on." Like, and I was like, "Oh," so I just had to like get me bike. I was nearly late for training, like with the first team. But after that, I just stayed with them the whole time until I left. Obviously this summer, I obviously went on loans and stuff. But yeah, from that pre-season when I went up to Spain, came back, and then I stayed with them until then. Like obviously I didn't play loads and loads of games. I think I played like 25 games, but I got my debut shortly after that pre-season trip in the Carabao Cup against Forest Green.
You had a couple of loans, didn't you?
Yeah, so I was obviously stayed up one for a few years. I was one of them where like probably the profile of player that I was. It was like Eddie Howe was always like, "No, we'll keep you here and stuff." Like it might not necessarily suit you to go to say League 1, League 2 at 19. Like you might be better off kind of sticking around and just, which at the time like I think that's perfect. Like I'll stay around Eddie Howe, and I'm glad I did, to be honest. Like people always say to me, like, "What would do you wish you had went there earlier?" But hindsight's obviously a great thing, isn't it? Like, so
you'd have more games on your back, but then would you have learned some of the stuff?
That's what I mean. I'd have a lot more games, but I'd like to think that some of the things that I do in my game, and probably things that I haven't shown yet, will probably come out based on the fact that I've been exposed to probably top players for.
I think of the standard of training every day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For the last sort of like 6-7 years, you've been exposed to, you know, top Premier League players. Like you look at them now, but it's like if I went on loan to League 2, League 1, I'm probably a bit more game. I'm probably a bit more experience, and I'm probably a bit more like exposed to kind of the level and all that. But I like to think that in the next few years that sort of period will stand me in good stead. Obviously, it hasn't necessarily been shown, but there's obviously two ways of looking at it. You go out on loan, you get loads of games, you get the experience, you play 200 games by now, or else you stay and like you try break in, but then obviously you get caught in the middle where you don't quite make the break in.
But I mean, you had a really good year.
Yeah, but you just don't quite like doing. You're not.
But
like,
you played like 18 games in the season where they finished second in the champ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've like
yeah,
it wasn't like you were just there and training.
No,
and playing.
I did play a little bit that year, but obviously you'd want to play more. But then, like as a realist, you got to look at it and be like you're surrounded by. Even the year that I played in the championship, I wasn't playing with championship players. I was playing with Premier League players.
Yeah.
They're like going away on international breaks to Colombia and God knows where, like Jefferson Lerma and stuff. And you're playing like with these, and you're trying to break in ahead of them. I remember like Scott Parker took me out of the team. Was like if you want to play, you need to be better than these now. Like, do you know what I mean? You're like this is the level now. So it's not like as easy as going like. Oh, just couldn't quite play. Like you were up against, you know, top players. So
is there anyone in training where like you're coming up against? You're like,
yeah, so many of them. To be fair, even from the current team now, like one that I was Alex Scott. He's at Bristol and that, but I only seen bits of what he gave you a few nightmares here, did he?
No, I used to work at Bristol City, didn't I?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So yeah, I know all those boys.
You're responsible for that. Yeah.
Don't think I am.
Yeah, you just got to sell on for Lloyd Kelly going Juventus.
Yeah.
Think of that either.
He's actually close to that team. Him and Ake. But yeah, I was just training at him like, and you know, you trained with him last year, and he's like getting on really well. And he's 19, 20. Like you're looking at him and you're like, wow, like this is like that's the level. Like he's just so natural. Do you know what I mean? Like everything's so natural, and he's actually been really unfortunate with injuries at Bournemouth. But like it used to be like when I was kind of 19, I was the youngest going in, and the rondos like you're the youngest, you're the one kind of come through, and then all of a sudden like you go out on a few loans, you come back, and all of a sudden you're looking around you, and there's players that are like 3, 4, 5 years younger than you. They're worth like 25 million, and you're like oh, I need to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's time to go now.
And I
So,
suppose like
yeah.
Bournemouth have been a little. They spent most of the year since you've been there in the Premier League. They've had 1 or 2 in the Champions.
Yeah, 2 in the champ. So that obviously helped us in a way because it gave us that little bit.
You look at them now. They've obviously they just keep progressing. They're 5th in the Premier League, like we said.
Yeah.
You know the levels. I know you like when they're in the Championship.
Yeah.
The level from the Championship to the Prem,
Yeah.
and now they're sort of an established. I'd say top half Premier League team.
Yeah.
The levels.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, it's because, like I said, I went out on the loans and after the Championship year. So the first year they went back to the Premier League, I went out on 2 loans, but you come back and they have these new American owners with loads of dough, obviously, and they're pumping it in, and then they sign, like, basically what they did is they just, like, I wouldn't say handpicked, but they handpicked the best young players in Europe that, like, the Cities, Uniteds and Liverpool didn't want.
But they
so
did,
just the bracket.
they did a very similar thing when they were in the lower leagues as well.
Yeah.
So they picked the best players from the league above.
Yeah, literally.
Paid them the money.
Yeah.
They come and played, they went up.
And build.
They then did the next thing, they went up.
That's literally
You know?
what they've done, like, and it's obviously...
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because that is a more than viable way to run your
Because
business.
you've got the money.
Yeah, when you do it,
Yeah.
Like I came back and it's not. I'm obviously not there, but when I came back from the loans, like it was a different club. Like they're building obviously a massive training ground. Like the club's just kind of like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I
It's
remember
amazing.
when 2012 we were the same league as them. We were both in League One.
Two,
We were both sort of at the top of the league.
Yeah.
I think we were first for most of the year with Di Canio.
Yeah.
Di Canio left over Matt Ritchie going. They bought Matt Ritchie for $500,000 from us.
That could have been us.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And now
I
they're
love
you know
that,
same stadium as what they had,
Yeah.
but they're 5th in the Premier League.
That's what's mad.
I mean?
Like that's when I came here. 'cause
It's
I was-
incredible that they can be sustainable with like a 12,000 door
I know. That's why when I came here, I was like, naturally, you think you leave Bournemouth, you come to Swindon, you're like, it's obviously it is a step down in terms of the league, but you come to the stadium, you're like, this is bigger. You know what I mean? This is bigger than Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And that just shows how big of a club we are.
Because
but-
before they got taken over, you'd go to Bournemouth on an away day,
yeah,
and you'd be like, "Oh, we've come to a smaller club."
yeah.
Because at the time they were a small.
Yeah, well, I remember going to Bournemouth and they didn't even have the stand behind the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a fence.
Yeah, to be fair, the stadium is lovely, albeit it's tiny, but it's
Yeah.
like a nice little stadium. I think they will eventually build a new
Yeah.
one, but it's just because it's quite a small area and it's not a massive footballing town,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't necessarily fill out much more than they would. But yeah, they've
Yeah,
done
no.
unbelievable.
Fair play to them, to be fair.
Yeah.
So obviously how many loans did you have? You had Stoke, Charlton.
Stoke, Charlie,
And Fleetwood.
Fleetwood.
How did you
No,
find?
they haven't got Fleetwood.
We won't go into detail, but how
Yeah.
did you find the loan moves?
Yeah, the loans were all good, but all difficult and like probably for different reasons. But it was one of them where I was at Bournemouth for probably like 5, 6 years, probably in a little bit of a bubble in terms of like protected, like not like we were saying, kind of like nice football, sort of like Premier League, sort of like. But then you go out and you have to adapt, and I probably struggled initially. I went to Stoke, so obviously I got the loan move to Stoke. We were in the Championship at the time, and it was perfect. Like it was like the gaffer was Irish, Michael O'Neill. Head of recruitment was from Dublin, and it just felt like the perfect kind of thing. It was like, yeah, you come here, this is how we want you to play. You'll play here, he'll play. You know what I mean? And it just all felt perfect. But as you know, like when something feels perfect in football, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
And I've never really had bad injuries, touch wood. But I went to Stoke and all of a sudden I just had a bit of a nightmare with injuries. They're not massive injuries, but I had a hip and then a knee, and then all of a sudden I've missed the first 4 or 5 months of the season. Didn't really play. The Irish manager got sacked, and like you come back and then like you're not really at the pace, and then so I only played like 4 games there, and I just never really got going because I got injured. And then I came back, and then the new manager came in. He quite liked me, to be fair, he said, but he was just like, look, you've been injured and I kind of have a set of players that I rely on now and that I kind of trust. So he was like, stick around, and I can't guarantee you'll play, but like, just see how it goes. And I was, at the time, like I was like, no, like I played last year, born the champ, like I want to have a full season playing every week. So I probably got a little bit desperate and like to jump the gun and like get them games, because I wasn't really playing much games at that stage. So I almost forced to move out, not forced to move out, but kind of pushed myself to go to basically anywhere that was decent. And then Charlton came in. I knew the manager. He was a good lad, and
He was a manager there.
Dean Holden. He was
Okay.
the assistant at Stoke when the manager brought me in, but they got sacked, so he brought me into Charlton and kind of. To be fair, he probably didn't really.
He's in Turkey now.
Yeah, he's gone
I've
to
seen that
Turkey.
the
Yeah,
other day.
yeah.
He's assistant manager.
Yeah. He was in Saudi as well, but no, he was a good lad. To be fair, Dino was, but he brought me in. He probably didn't really necessarily need me. It was almost one of them where he knew me and like obviously liked me and that and brought me in, but. I was probably chasing fitness a little bit to get there, like come back from injuries and that, and I just never really could get going. I played a few games there, like when I came in and started a few games, but yeah, Charlton probably wasn't my best spell. I was just probably chasing fitness and like chasing a bit of form and like probably just kind of lost my way a little bit.
Yeah.
And the season, when the season just fizzles out, they're like kind of not getting relegated, they're not getting promoted, not getting playoffs. So like he was like, right, next season we're gonna start looking. We don't really need you, and then it was just a bit of a shitty time. So, so the loans. That year went great after kind of a good season before that. You wanted to kind of go. The plan would have been almost like play a Bournemouth year before, right? You're in the Premier League, you're not quite ready. Go out and loan to the Championship, play a full season, come back, and like, are you ready for the Premier League then?
Yeah.
Or if not, if we get relegated to the Championship, are you ready to play then? And obviously, like you're like there, and then you go out with a couple of bad loans, and as you know, you're like go from here to here really quickly. So that was really it, and then I just went back to Bournemouth the next season. I needed a reset, so I just went back to Bournemouth and did the pre-season and stayed there for the first 6 months until last January. I got on the bench in the Premier League a good few times in a lot of good stadiums like Old Trafford, Anfield, which is nice. Obviously never came on, but it was nice to I was obviously a big Liverpool fan. My dad and that was at the game and you're warming up and he's like, taking pictures in that. But yeah, that's it.
Here's a question: have you collected any decent shirts?
I got Luis Diaz against Liverpool. I didn't
No,
play.
he said decent shirts.
Just because he doesn't love the mighty Reds.
It's not for me.
Lewis Diaz.
I think. Yeah, I can't remember. They beat Bournemouth obviously 3-1. I think it was. I just asked after the game, but you don't come on like, and he obviously hasn't a bleeding clue who I am. Like, so they're like, yeah, swap jerseys there, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, just give me yours. Like you don't want mine. Just give me yours. But it's in the wardrobe. It's nice to have because I'm a big Liverpool fan. It was one of them where like. There's obviously Salah, there's Trent, there's Van Dijk, but you kind of got to know your like the power rankings. I'm not going to quite be able to guess. Yeah, you've got to know the how it goes. So I didn't go for Salah or Van Dijk. I was like, Luis Diaz is like really good, but he's at a level that like none of the lads are probably going to ask him, so I can kind of just nip in there and get it. So yeah, have that one, which is nice.
Any other decent ones?
Just like mates, like Darryl Shea from it was when we played West Brom, Connor Coventry from Charlton. West Ham I have a couple of hits to be fair. I swapped with David Harrington, the Fleetwood goalkeeper here, as you would have known.
Yeah.
You're probably looking for that jersey. So yeah, that's it really.
Oh, fair enough. I'm going to do something we haven't done for a long time now. We're going to have a little quiz.
Go on.
And I'm going to put you against each other.
Oh, I'm with him. Yeah. Go on,
Now,
let's go.
I can either give you
got
the
them in
team.
your head then?
Huh?
Have you got them in your head?
I know enough grounds to.
Yeah, he's a well-travelled man.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What have I been to? 82 of the current 92.
What are you missing?
Oh, more Premier League and champ. Swindon fan, innit?
Yeah.
So, been bouncing around League 1, League 2
Yeah,
for
no shame in
25
that.
years.
Yeah.
Done a lot of them. So, I can either give you the team and you give me the ground, or I can give you the ground and you tell me the team. And I'll go one to you, one to Jonah, and we'll do 5 for each, and we'll see who gets the most.
What would you rather? I think give the team.
Team?
I think the
ground.
team.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
okay. First one to Gav. Leeds United.
Elland Road.
Elland Road.
Elland Road.
1-0. Second one to Jonah. Accrington Stanley.
The Wham Stadium.
Good. I
1-1.
would have got it, but I didn't think you would.
1-1.
You got to remember, you got there a bit early. You set out the key. You're familiarising
This
yourself.
is what I'm
Do
saying.
you know what I mean?
Okay. It's 1-1.
Yeah.
Gav Kilkenny. Sunderland.
Stadium of Light.
2-1.
Been there. Season ticket holder there when I was a kid.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because Roy Keane was the gaffer, wasn't he? So my dad was like, let's go.
Oh.
We went to all the Sunday
My dad
games
was a
and
season ticket holder at Roker Park when he was a kid.
that. Really, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you said
Because he's from up that way.
Yeah, you said that.
That's mad. Jonah. What was it? 2-1, yeah? Jonah. Middlesbrough. Oh!
The Riverside.
Oh!
I had to think then.
You can't
No,
put that one.
I don't know why.
There's tougher tests to
Nearly
come.
got
There's tougher
there.
tests to come.
So 2-2.
Yeah.
Colchester United.
Oh my god, I was thinking about this one earlier. It's something weird. It's like, I'm gonna say it's like the Colchester Community Stadium.
It is the Colchester Community Stadium.
I tell you why I know
Unbelievable.
that.
Go on.
Because it's probably the worst night of my life.
Yeah.
That's what
I had that in my head. I had the
That's-
job serve.
that's
Was it
probably
job
why
It
serve?
used to be called the Job
Job
Serve,
serve.
but now it's called
Is
the
it?
Community
Yeah, I wouldn't have known
Stadium.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
bad on me.
3-2.
3-2 to Gav. Jonah. Walsall.
The Poundland Stadium.
The Poundland
Is it?
Stadium. Yeah.
I didn't know it.
Also
Isn't
known
that
as the Bescott Stadium,
Yeah.
but because of sponsorship, it's now the Poundland Stadium.
That's a bad name. Isn't
So good for you.
Yeah.
Because some people would have said. To be fair, either one was going to be
it?
right.
Yeah, I
Was
wouldn't,
it
have got,
3-3?
I wouldn't have got either, but
Right, I've got to find
my
some,
business.
find some difficult ones now, I know. Okay. QPR.
Loftus Road. He's just champing Premier me. He needs to know I can get the league as well.
Alright.
I can
We'll
get
get
the
there.
league
Jonah. Barrow.
You're on your own there.
Oh, God. Been there 5 times.
The Butsy Worldie at the end.
Yeah.
Keep it.
What is it? 3-3?
Actually,
4-3.
no.
Yeah, I use a shot in hand.
So I'm good with a lot of stuff with football. I'm not that.
That's a difficult one. That's a very difficult one. You're not passing, are you?
You can pass if you want.
I can't even recall like saying the stadium
No, it doesn't.
anywhere.
It doesn't.
Honestly, I have no clue.
I think I'd penalty shootout. I think I've missed. Yeah.
You think you've missed?
Yeah.
Holker Street.
Honestly, no
Oh,
recollection.
H-O-L-K-E-R
No recollection.
Street.
I wouldn't have got that.
Okay, so what's that? What are we on?
4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
Last one to count. If he gets it right, he wins.
Yeah.
Um,
Go on.
Burnley.
It's so easy, like Turfmoor. Turfmoor. Yeah.
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 But
I was never going to get Barrow.
I just went blank there for a second.
No, well, I had
That's
to try
a
and make a win
really
of some,
tough
you
one.
know, because you were proper, like you were both on it. That
Yeah.
was like 7 in a row between you. You
Yeah,
were just
We're-
bang them up.
You've got a bit of ball knowledge, haven't you?
Straight
Yeah,
away.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have got Barrow.
I was trying to think of teams where it wasn't obvious.
I thought you were
All I had
going
in my head was Bradford.
I thought you were going to go Carlisle or something. And I was ready with the Brunton part.
He was ready with
Um,
Bradford.
Yeah.
I think that's decent for me, to be fair. Like, I think a lot of lads that we would ask that, I don't know if they'd
I
get
don't
that.
know.
I don't know if they'd be that.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous.
Okay, one more. Harrogate.
The exercise stadium. I just remember looking at it and
The
thinking,
exercise
on the
stadium.
weekend when Brad booked the meeting, I was thinking, that's such a weird name.
It used to be Weatherby Road,
Did it?
yeah, but now they have sponsors, so it's
Yeah.
the exercise stadium.
Yeah.
See,
Nice.
it's all in there.
Good
That's one
knowledge.
thing I can remember.
Yeah.
Stadiums.
So obviously you had the end of last year at Fleetwood,
Yeah.
and you've gone back to Bournemouth in the summer.
Yeah.
What was the thought process in you still had another year, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what was so you obviously did pre-season, you went to LA like you said.
Yeah, it was like obviously last year, like I said, after the loans, I came back to Bournemouth, had a bit of a reset. Like got my mojo back a little bit in terms of got back around the lads and that. And then in that January, I was like needed to go somewhere. Like had a couple of options. All the other options I had were like in better place. I went to Fleetwood there, 12 points adrift at League One,
Yeah.
like 12. Like so they're gone us really, but. I was chatting to a few of the different managers from different clubs, and I just spoke to Charlie Adam and like, obviously the gaffer's boy, and he was like, yeah, like just come here, like get us playing and that, and like we have a chance, like we can still do it. And then went there, but the reason I went there, I suppose, is what I'm saying is that I needed to just play. Do you know what I mean? I needed to go somewhere where, like, albeit you're going to a team that's probably going to get relegated. I'd rather do that than go to a mid-table or like League One team that
And then not play.
you don't play, and then like you're rightly, which is what I did the season before. Then you're in a pickle, do you know what I
It's a
mean?
long way to move up though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was 5 hours, but it was only 3 months because the season finished on like 27th of April. So I went up to Fleetwood, a few of my mates were there,
Yeah.
loads of Irish lads, like had a bit of crack. It was like, I actually loved it. It sounds stupid because we got relegated, but I absolutely loved it. Like one of probably the best few months of my career, like to be fair, in terms of like lads were great, manager was great, and then like we got relegated, but we had a good go. We only finished 3 points off. Won the
How
last
many
3
were
or
you
4.
adrift when you?
12. So
12,
we had a good pop at it.
Had a
like,
really good go.
yeah, played every game, like started every game, like he said I would. So, yeah, and then in the summer it was like, do you go back?
Played 20 odd games. Did I see?
No, I played 16. We only had
Yeah.
I had an injury for a couple of games, but literally we only had 18 games left. So, and then in the summer, like I said, I went back to Bournemouth, and then I knew like in the summer going back that like I needed to go somewhere permanently.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to go on loan with a year left.
Yeah.
At least I didn't want to, and I needed to go somewhere that was like a proper home. And like I haven't played many games, especially then I hadn't played many games. I was like, I need to go and play loads of games. And just like get used to like playing every week, and like not men's football because I'm not young anymore, but like just week in week out,
Yeah.
and like being like an important member of a team rather than kind of being like the young lad or like kind of the fringe lad. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just different options. Obviously, the manager was Irish at the time, Mark, which helped, and there's a few different options, but this one just felt right. Obviously, it went right to the end of the window because you're just weighing up different pieces and that.
So you were pretty set all pre-season that was going to be what was going to happen.
Yeah. I did the pre-season with Bournemouth. It was LA, like you're not going to say no. You know what I mean? Played like LA Galaxy.
Pre-season tour in LA.
Yeah, it was
Cheers.
unbelievable. Like, got to see like a little baseball game. All this, like it was class, to be fair. But then after that, did a few weeks, played a few of the friendlies and that. That they had, and then it was just got to the end of the window, and it was like, right, it's decision time now. What do you want to do? And it just helped, to be fair, that the manager was Irish. Obviously, I knew Nams was here, and I've been up Bournemouth for 8 years. It helps that Swindon's not a million miles away. Do you know what I mean? So that helped, and obviously, like from the club that there's a bit of a decent sort of history in terms of a footballing philosophy, and they've played decent football.
What did you know about like? What was your view on Swindon before you joined? Did you know much about?
I knew it was like a good club. I knew it had a big stadium. Like I remember ringing my granddad, and he was like, "Yeah, they're in the Premier League the first year it was joined." Like, I'll be honest, I didn't know that. Like, but that's like amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a massive club, like big club Swindon." Like, and I was like,
Won the League Cup.
"Yeah, you know what I mean? Put some respect on Swindon's name."
Not many teams can say that.
Yeah, so I was like, "Yeah, look, let's go for it." Like, do you know what I mean? At the time, you're going from. I say Premier League club, I wasn't playing, but you know, I mean, you're going from a Premier League club to a League Two club, so naturally there's a little bit of is that a bit too much of a step down? But you're like, no, like let's just go there and play, and just kind of like just get on with it, like rather than, just think about like, do you know what I mean? You think about what people think. So I just said, look, let's just get going and just play, and got here, and to be fair, I've absolutely loved it. It's obviously been, difficult as at times, but we've obviously picked up a lot. Tough result on the weekend, but yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, that's all right. We go again.
Yeah.
Don't we? Can't do nothing about what's gone.
That's it.
You
just
move
explain
forward
the stipulations for the playoffs.
Do you know what I mean?
And you pretty much played most of the game, don't you? Other than you had a few injuries.
Yeah, I think I played 34 or something like that, which is obviously the most of my career by a distance, which is important for me just to get like a rhythm and like not match fitness, but like just that like kind of experience of just rolling out week to week and like training. I was training previously to get better at football and like develop, but now you're training for the game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, training to win. Yeah, and like not only that, when we were like kind of teething around the relegation zone, it's serious shit. You know what I mean? Like you're not. We're going in every day, and you two are kind of having to try and keep the spirits up on that. You know what I mean? But like it's like let's be honest, for a few months it kind of got not months, but a few weeks it was like this is like
struggle.
Let's go here. Whereas I haven't experienced that. Obviously, at Fleetwood we did, but it was a bit of a foregone conclusion in a sense. But here,
and you were on loan, so maybe there was a different.
As much as you don't want to say, you don't feel as connected because at the end of the season, look,
you're just going to go back there, and then it's just.
Whereas here, like you feel it more, and you're like, look, we can't go to the you don't go to the National League. Do you know what I mean? No, not yet. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, look, we're not out of the water yet. And I'm not saying we are, but we've had a bit of a pick up and we've done well. But yeah, for me, it's just the whole experience, like playing every week, getting used to like situations that happen, change managers. Obviously, the manager brought me and got sacked really early, which was obviously at the time I was like good because he was, he was decent. It was really good for me, and like that wasn't easy. And then obviously the gaffers came in, and initially that was tough. In terms of our start, he had to pick us up from a bad situation, but he's obviously been
since the turn of the year.
He's been amazing since, and he's probably exactly what we needed in a sense in terms of like all his experience and like literally I don't know how many years of experience, but he's had to use every ounce of it to kind of pick us up. And I think even like just off the pitch's energy and stuff has helped to lift everyone up, probably yourselves as well.
It's been a good atmosphere in it, let's be honest.
And that's what we needed.
We don't usually struggle for that. Me and him usually.
Yeah, but that's like important, isn't it? As Kitman, we need that as well.
But who motivates motivator?
Do
you know what I mean?
I like that one. Yeah.
But we're like around it, and we're all like, come on, man. But sometimes you get a bit like.
Yeah.
So when he come in and he's just like Come on.
Well, if you don't, then like, what was it? You had the little piggy bank. Like, if you don't, you have to put a few quid in there. Like, so,
he's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
it's been class.
Even from our perspective, yeah. I think it's been a really good atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's even one of them like where he's obviously a bit old school, and he's helped me in the sense that like sometimes it doesn't need to be like as kind of, I don't know, like he's stripped it back at times to just basics and like this.
Just
like,
keep it simple.
Do the basics, like win your battles, like beat him to the ball. You know what I mean? Like he always goes on about like first 4 yards, beat him to the like, and you're like, sounds basic, but it's like so true, especially in this league. Like it's like
because if you do that, you get the ball.
Exactly.
And when you've got the ball, you can play.
Yeah, so
like it is that.
It's helped me.
You know.
Now entry fair because. Yeah, it's just it's helped like that. It just like as a midfield, I know he was a midfielder, but it's just helping kind of like just do the basics, and then after that, you'd like to think that your quality will come out, and I think that's probably what's happened recent weeks. And he's just probably built a bit of stability and a little bit of a feel good factor around the place.
Talk to us about your debut then. Obviously, that goal against it was not.
Yeah,
that was your debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, a few of the lads have said, "Where's my shooting boot since then?" But
there's some finish though, that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we lost that game. McGoldrick, we scored 4 goals against us this season. He scored 2 absolutely worldies that game. Yeah, we probably made yours not look as good, but no, it was good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, I would look. I'd like to get a couple more.
Yeah,
in terms of. 1 goal is not a great return, but obviously it's not something that I probably build my game around. But I think what happened was I scored the goal and people thought that people's like every
that's what we thought.
Yeah,
I'm like, gonna score
check my stats from the last 5 years. There's not many in there. You know what I mean? So it's look, it's nice to get a goal, but I need to. That's something that I need to do. I've spoke to the coaches. Gav's been banging the drum to me that you need to get more goals, get more assists. But it's something that I probably haven't done. I've played a little bit deeper in my career at other teams. I think the last few weeks and months the Gaffer's probably freed me up a little bit to go.
What do you prefer playing deep, or do you like being able to?
I like playing as a 6 because I like getting on the ball deeper. But I do think I don't like being locked down to the point where like you're kind of like there and then like when we go forward you stay. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind that, but I think it's helped me in the last few weeks to be able to like have Namdi there with me, and it's like just kind of almost old school. Like if he goes, I'll stay. If I go, he'll stay. And it's like
we were watching the Harrogate game in the first half. Obviously, we dominated the game, and we were sat down the other end. We were obviously attacking the other end.
Yeah,
you can. I said to Steve, you can sort of see that you two have known each other for such a long period. You can.
We don't even need to really
just
talk,
like just like your each other's movements. You sort of bounce off each other.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like it's just kind of works, kind of a bit like clockwork, and it's like you said, it's helped me in the sense to play with someone that I know. And obviously, when Ollie comes in there, he just kind of gives us all his experience and a little bit of know-how, and I can learn a lot from someone like Ollie as well because he's been around the leagues and like. Their little things, like the little things that he does, is probably what I lack in the sense of just a little bit of know-how, how to win battles in midfield, and like things that I need to learn is like stuff that I've learned off him. So it's helped, and I think naturally I'd like to probably add a bit more in terms of the goals to my game. So that's something I need to do.
But it's been a pleasure to watch you this season. We enjoy watching you.
Thank you very much.
We like the way you play. I've always loved, like, as a Swindon fan, like a midfielder like you.
You're my type of player.
I think we've always done well with somebody that that plays like you. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've obviously got 14 games left, so try and get as many wins as possible from now to the end of the season.
How many can we get for the playoffs?
We can do it.
Yeah,
it can be done.
That's it. Like you said,
stranger things have happened.
100%. Yeah, we've a good crack at it. I mean.
So there you go. Before we finish up, just want to say thank you to our sponsors as always, in for free. The pod wouldn't be possible without them, so thank you very much. I say it every week, we need to get them in to watch one.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Other than that, thanks Gav, great 5-a-side team. We had a little quiz, that was a bit of fun.
Pleasure to talk to you, pleasure to watch you.
Thank you very much, guys, appreciate it.
Cheers for watching.
Thank you.
Cheers guys.
Cheers guys.